Got you. So then I completely agree with you when you're talking about servicing others. I think we're all put here on earth for our limited time period. We all owe God a duty to serve others in some capacity. And even when you're talking about from a resource standpoint, I think just going through life, you're going to get more out of life from a gratification standpoint, as well as just resources by helping others get what they want in some capacity. And that, I mean, that can also, I think, at least in my opinion, that's going to also help you kind of get what you want from that standpoint. But just
Yeah.
from the gratification standpoint, just helping others, serving others in some capacity.
Well. If you look at it,
Yep,
playing football, I was serving others.
that's true. That
It
you
was
got
a,
they got a chance to get away for the weekend, watching their favorite sports team, their favorite players, and that was your service. Yeah, exactly.
and
And
they
you're
get
you're
they
just
get
getting
they
paid a lot for it. But yeah, that's definitely a
they
form of service.
it's the same thing. They go
Yep,
in and they get to have that NFL experience, high
yep,
school experience, college experience.
yep,
On the weekend with the family, they bring the kids. They get to have this amazing experience.
yep.
And if we win and I get off, it's a beautiful week.
Right.
If we lose and I don't do well, everyone's sad.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a tough
That's
week.
true. That's true. That's
So
very true.
I was in the service industry anyway.
You
I
just
just
didn't
got
know it at
paid
that
for it in
point.
a different. It
Yep,
was a different
yep,
type of service. You see what I'm
yep,
saying?
for sure.
So now it's still the difference, but now I'm boots on the ground now. Like
Right.
I'm actually here volunteering now.
Yep,
I'm actually having these one-on-one conversations. I'm actually shaking your hand rather
yep,
than you in section 255
yep.
and that's him down there.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, that's good. So what made you start up like the nonprofit New World Flood? Because seems like, if I'm not mistaken, around that 2011 time frame, again, you're volunteering, doing volunteer work, and as opposed to just continuing to do volunteer work, what made you say, okay, this has gotten to the point where this is so important to me that I'm going
Yeah.
to start a nonprofit?
Well, that's it. I mean, I was volunteering again. I didn't know a lot about it. My family has always been full of service forever.
Got you.
Always. We've
Okay,
always helped. And
okay,
that's my mom's side, my dad's side. That's what we're about, really.
got you.
Especially with both my parents being educators. I mean, that's what we do. But I didn't like intentionally understand it until then. Where I was actually not just, hey, this is what we're doing. Instead, like we're creating these events.
Right.
So I was volunteering with a bunch of different organizations. So I got a chance to learn what's going on. Some things I liked, some things I didn't.
Yeah.
And I finally was like, why don't you start it? Why don't you try it? Why don't you do your own? That way now you don't just have to show up at an event and do what they tell you. You can actually choose where you want to help and volunteer and give and serve
Yep.
and have some real laser focus on certain groups, certain people, and things you want to do. And so that's when it all kind of made sense.
Huh. Wow. And
I can tell you, so what first it was called the first organization we had was called Lunch with a Purpose. And
okay.
what we did was every Thursday at around from 12 to 1, we would just either go to a different nonprofit or we would set up something. And we must have did that for almost a year, 2 years straight. Like
Wow.
every Thursday.
Every
It was
week.
like 80 something in a row
Wow.
that we did. And that's where I got a chance to be around a lot of people in the community. Yep. So after that, it kind of fizzled out. People kind of stopped coming. So it was like, all right, well, let's now we know what we're doing.
Right.
Now let's create our own organization, New World Flood, flooding the world through giving and service, a single raindrop at a time. And that's when it changed.
Oh, so what is like? I guess what do you guys do as part of a New World Flood? I know you're saying you're giving a raindrop one. What type of events you guys put on? Yep. I know so everybody. When you're talking about service, it seems like they have a particular niche. So what would be your niche as it relates to New World Flood?
So there's a couple areas that we always help in. Giving food. Providing food to hungry, homeless, whatever. Either just being able to give food is big for us. Being able to give time, volunteer hours. Yep. So a single raindrop is the beginning of a flood. So one person volunteering might bring 2 people, might bring 5 people, might bring 20 people.
Gotcha.
So if you got 30, 40 people showing up to work 1 hour, that's 30, 40 hours of work.
Yep.
And most nonprofits, especially the mom and pop nonprofits, I mean, they got jobs. Yep. So they're trying to do all type of things together. So if you can bring all these people resources to a nonprofit to help them, that's really going to make a difference.
Right.
So that's where the whole single raindrop comes from. And the catalyst to that is the 1 second catch that I had against those guys down the road. I mean, 1 second can change your life.
Right.
And this is proof. Like, I mean, I'm a running back. And one of the biggest plays that I'm known for is a catch that I had.
Yeah, versus U of M to win the game.
I mean, I'm a running back.
Yeah.
And in that same game, one of the best receivers ever, Charles Rogers, is on the field. Like, I mean, like, I'm a running back.
Right. Now that. So do you think that's like your biggest, or what people know you from in terms of like the biggest moment?
Yes. Yes.
That's crazy.
And so, I mean, that's where, like, you know, now you fast forward into New World Flood, like, you never know when that 1 second is going to come up that you can make a difference in someone's life. You never know.
That's true.
But you're preparing for it. You just stay ready.
Yep, stay ready.
But by staying ready, you got to have a heart that's willing. You got to have a heart that's open regularly.
Yep.
And that's humbling. That's hard. It's hard for someone to think of somebody else, especially when they're in need and they're struggling and their cup's not full. And you want me to go pour my energy into you?
Yep.
But that's what it's about. So that's where the nonprofit comes in. So from feeding folks to doing back to school, backpack drives.
Got you. Yep.
To teaching people what does it mean to be a volunteer, to going to schools, going to organizations, and me speaking my story, helping inspire people to volunteer.
Yep.
I mean, it's a whole, like, you know, after the flood, it's brand new soil.
Yeah, no, for sure.
After we are involved with you in some way, shape, or form, you will be brand new, and it's going to be a new world for you to do whatever you want.
I like that. Yep. It's a blank canvas you starting from.